99.3 WBT. Thanks for joining us here on the Income Strategy Show with Dolph Janis of ClearIncomeForLife.com. Tony Orlando released Tie a Yellow Ribbon back in 1973. Often associated with soldiers returning home from Vietnam, Tie a Yellow Ribbon won Favorite Pop Rock Single at the first annual American Music Awards in 1974. Also picked up 2 Grammy nominations as well. Tony Orlando and Dawn, lots of hits from those guys that we don't think about it. Remember the song Knock 3 Times on the Ceiling If You Want Me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun hits that were kind of
That's
weird.
old school.
I know. I love old school. I'm kind of an old school kind of gal. I know you are too. I know your clients are because you help people that are 55 and older with their retirement. So when we reference these old school songs, they're not so old school to most of us.
No, it seems like yesterday.
Right. It's amazing how fast time flies. There's some people who are so frustrated with trying to save for retirement and their future that they eventually, sadly, just give up and say, forget it. I'll just die broke. And I hate it when people say that. I mean, I know it's an overwhelming feeling, but there are so many options out there. On Market Watch, Chuck Jaff explained the problem with that kind of thinking.
Dying broke is okay. If you run out of money before you're broke, that's a problem. Suddenly, you're not dying broke, you're dying as a burden on everybody else. And as those two things get close, if you're feeling healthy but your money is not, you're going to wind up living your last years in significant financial distress. You know, the financial planning industry, they basically want you to, save an amount of money that hopefully you never have to winnow away. And if you're really fortunate, it generates enough you can live as long as you're going to live and pass on a nice inheritance.
Now, as a financial professional, Duff, for over 15 years, you have helped people who have saved for retirement. Do they usually want to leave an inheritance, or do they generally want to just enjoy what they work so hard for and spend it on themselves?
There's different types of people out there. There's the people that when they start in retirement, like when I was talking about Dan and Linda earlier, I remember when I met them, they had no interest in leaving money to their kids. They said, hey, we want to enjoy our retirement. And then they retired in October of last year, and they said, we thought about it. And it's like, well, we do want to make sure our kids are taken care of. So people's mind opinions change. I mean, one thing you can never take away is family. And you love your family, you want to take care of your family, but you take care of yourself first and everything else. You don't want to be a burden on your family, as Chuck was talking about. And if you run out of money and something happens in your later in life, you become a burden. I'm sure you don't want to be a burden on your parents. You want your parents to be a burden on you, and so forth. And there's this interesting thing when you're looking at retirement. If you can improve by 1% every day the way you look at your future, within a year you've improved by 365%.
Oh, okay.
It's just a different way of looking at it. It's like you can wake up in the morning and make one thing, and you can do this for anything. And when we're talking about clients, it's like we talked about earlier in the show, remember tomorrow. Put down a piece of paper, one thing you want to accomplish by tomorrow, and you do that every morning, and then it's amazing. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, you've accomplished 365 new things. Something as so small as you want to open up a Roth, something as so small as you want to pay off this bill, something so small as anything. And you look at each client, and you look at each situation, everybody's situation is 100% different.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. I mean, like I said, 15 years, there's a lot of them that are close, but everybody's different. But the one thing at the end of the day that you can never outsave is enough money for income. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't exist because you don't know how long you're going to live. I had Gail came in my office the other day, 91 years young, excuse me. I've been working with her for over 12 and a half years. Super nice lady. I mean, you wouldn't have guessed she's over a day over 60. I mean, this woman's driving. She's got all her senses. I mean, her mother lived to like 109. Years old before she passed away. It's amazing. And then she's just living on a fixed budget. And she's like, one of the things that she wants to focus on is to make sure she's not a burden on her kids. And so we've created the income for her over the last 12 years where she's living comfortably. She's not living extravagantly because she didn't save enough over the years, but she's living comfortably. She's all excited because her paycheck that she's taken with one of the annuities that we opened up for her back in the day is getting an increase every year, and she's using that increase to increase her living. And it's so enjoyable just spending time with someone like that because they did it the right way.
That's the thing. You've got to do things the right way so that later on it pays off for your future. A Where Do I Stand plan is how Dolph addresses those things with the planning that he does for his clients. It's about having a retirement income plan. and addressing those issues and more. Doing a full-blown second opinion of your retirement, looking at RMDs, inflation, being tax efficient, your risk versus reward with where you are concerning your age. Your risk tolerance is so key in this conversation. Social Security benefit options often trip people up, but Dolph has this analyzation software that he can do the heavy lifting for you with so that you know what's best for you there. Possible health care and long-term care costs as those continue to rise. How are you going to deal with those? Dolph can help you find out if you have the right retirement income plan that fits you and your lifestyle. Maybe an inheritance is part of that, maybe not. So whatever you are looking to do, it's personalized. If you'd like him to do that Where Do I Stand plan for you, all you have to do is pick up the phone. Dolph can sit down with you for about an hour or so, talk about what's important to you, the things that you want and need in the future, the fun stuff you want to do. That's always the best part of the conversation. Talk about what numbers you're comfortable with. Then he gets to work doing that Where Do I Stand plan, complimentary. 704-919-0149. 704-919-0149. You can link up and find out some more details and talk about setting an appointment at clearincomeforlife.com.